Austin, paint us a word picture of where we're at, because I didn't take good notes.
You are at the zoo. Well, you were. It's been a day or so.
I'm wet. Oh, wait, what?
I thought we still had to escape the zoo.
Jeremy was going to check on us in the tide pool.
Okay. No, I mean, I was going to give you a free out, but if you want to play it out, that's fine. No,
I might take the free out.
We really like fucking up. Like, that's probably the best part of this game.
No, I think yes. So as of last time, you infiltrated the tide pool in a very clumsy manner. You tried to tune into the monster now that you got a sense of this was at least its most recent place, but you couldn't really get a firm read on it. Like, it was almost as if you were getting static, and all the signal, if you can call it that, is sort of jumping around. You can't say definitively, oh, it's right here, because it feels like it's almost all over the place.
Also, I was very hungry, right?
Yeah, you have this weird craving for human flesh. So you're in the tide pool and quite wet. You've got to get out. What are you gonna do?
Call your mother and tell her to distract the guard.
Well, I think my phone's broken. I just fell in a pool of water.
All right, I'll call your mother and tell her to distract the guard. Ring, ring. A ring, ring.
Oh, is that a vibration or am I just? Oh, yes, it's my phone. Hello.
Hey, Debster. We got a situation. We need to sneak everybody out. Can you talk to the guard named Jeremy next to the gate, next to the closed-up tide pool, and distract him while we walk out? I know I keep using you as a distraction, but I promise it's not a deadly thing.
Okay, so this guy Jeremy, you said, and I just want to make sure I have the right guy before I try to distract him. Can you describe to me what he looks like?
Yeah, Jeremy's got hair, and he's got 2 eyes and a mouth, and the fan art will decide the rest. And
yeah,
I think he had an eye patch.
I see him. Eye patch. Okay.
He probably has a badge that says his name.
Positive on the eye patch. All right. Okay. Goodbye. I'll do my. Hey. Oh, before I just gotta know, how long do I have to distract him?
Until you see us walk out, and I call you back.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, bye. Yoo-hoo! Sir! Hey, mister!
Sorry, can I help you?
Yes, you can. Well, I have lost an earring, and it's somewhere in this vicinity of about 10 yards, but more like in that direction farther away, right over there. But it looks like a rock, but it's got a small back to it, a little gold back. So if you could help me look through these all these here pebbles, that'd be real help, sir.
Well, I'm kind of have the job to do. I'm not supposed to let anybody.
I'm sorry. I thought your job was to help the customers of this park. I'm paying for this experience.
Well,
am I not?
Shit.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I'm also here to make sure nobody, goes into the construction area. And
this was one of my grandmother's earrings. She came straight from Ireland.
Okay.
Straight from Ireland with $2 in her pocket.
Hey, it's okay.
And 5
cry.
brothers
I'll
and
help
sisters.
you.
Okay.
No, I'll help you. I'll help you find it. Okay. Where did you
Thank
say you
you.
lost it?
Somewhere over here. It's looks like a small rock. Just show me all the rocks you find, and I'll tell you if it's a yes or no.
Okay, so he is going to help you get on the ground and look for this earring. Yeah, Jeremy doesn't get paid the big bucks for his smarts.
Yeah, you didn't even have to roll to manipulate him. He just did it.
Somebody's got a little crush on Debbie, methinks.
I tell you what I will do though, Hawk. If you're leading the charge, whoever wants to roll to act under pressure.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
And then Debbie can help out.
I think my plus
All right.
3 really wants to be the person to roll cool.
that feels like it makes the most sense because you got everyone into this situation, kind of. I mean, Alex really did just kind of jump in there without regard for consequences.
As Alex do.
Yeah, Alex do. He do.
Hey, so does Debbie's distraction count as helping out at all?
Well,
Because that's a 9. And I'd like a total success rather than a partial success.
yes, I agree. I would like you to have a total success. So, Debbie, I need you to roll plus cool as well.
Yeah.
So, on a 7 to 9, your help grants them +1 to their roll, but you also expose yourself to trouble or danger.
This is when he realizes that Debbie's wearing 2 earrings.
Yes, and that's... You joke, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Look, I've got this. All right?
Okay.
I've got it.
Ma'am, are you sure you lost an earring? You're wearing 2 earrings right now.
Oh, am I? Oh, what do you know? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm on some new medication. I must be very confused. I didn't lose an earring. Did I say earring? I meant I just lost my rock.
You lost your rock?
Yeah, yes, sir.
You just see Hawk pushing Alex and...
I usually keep a rock in my ear. I call it my earring, because that's more normal. I usually just keep that rock right in my ear, right next to my earring.
You know those classic Irish ear rocks?
It was my great-grandmother's rock that she used to keep in her ear when she came from Ireland. And it was just so important. It was the last rock from Ireland, from St. Patrick himself.
Okay.
St. Patrick gave my great-great-great-grandmother that rock.
Okay, well, I do have to get back to my station now, so good luck with your rock hunting. And as he turns around, he doesn't see anybody at the gate, but you do see him, kind of walk back to his post and open up the gate and look inside, and he gets on his little walkie-talkie, and he seems to make a call, but you can't really hear at that point. But
okay,
you are out. You've done it. But Charlie, you are very wet.
Oh boy. Okay, so we should probably get out of here, out of the zoo. Do you want to go back to Good Coffee?
Hold on 1 second. And I walk over to the penguin exhibit, and I just look at those things for a few minutes, and just in all their glory.
Look at your fellow avian friends.
All right, I'm good now. Let's go coffee shop.
You make your way back to Good Coffee. It's early evening at this point. Sun hasn't started setting just yet, but it's getting around that time. Well, leaving the zoo is fairly hassle-free. You show your credentials. You make sure that it's not very obvious why you were there. Not that anybody would know. But as far as, your excursion, you seem to have gotten out relatively unscathed. So what is your plan going forward?
What we know, after probably talking to Charlie on the way back and getting him a spare change of clothes, is that he felt like it was everywhere, basically. It could be anywhere, or there could be lots of them in a lot of different places. And it's very, very hungry, and in order to get it to pop up, we have to give it a chance to get rid of its hunger to feed on stuff.
Yeah, I will say, it's obviously not like it's everywhere, because, Charlie, you're not having a constant headache that feels like it's coming from all directions. It was mostly when you got into the Tide Pod area. The Tide Pod?
The Tide Pod?
Your headache started when you ate that Tide Pod. No, sorry, the Tide Pool area.
That's the secret of Charlie's powers. He just eats a bunch of Tide Pods.
We have impressionable viewers. Don't say that.
So it's not like you're always feeling a headache and always feeling the presence of it. It just stemmed from that tide pool. You just couldn't get a lock on where it was after that.
So from there we can kind of surmise that it was somewhere in I guess we need to find out, but if the pool was attached to something else.
So remember, the tide pool is connected to that big round building, which is then connected to a couple of those other buildings, one of them being the South Pacific Aquarium building that Hawk had his tour through with Dr. Annie Barnes. So that's why there are some exhibits and things like that, but there are also kind of a back area for maintenance and research and things like that. So that's kind of where that main research piece of this park is.
We might need to break into the zoo.
When there aren't people around.
Yes, that's what I meant. Sorry. At night.
I can break into a zoo.
Alex is down.
Because my first from all of this, my first instinct is it's a bunch of piranhas. A bunch of them that are kind of very hungry, but
evil piranhas.
Evil piranhas. Giant evil piranhas.
Where piranhas?
Yeah, I don't think they're ever made to look nice. Usually they usually kind of give off that evil vibe.
Hey man, they're just misunderstood.
I know, I agree with you.
They just want to give you all the kisses. Piranhas can kiss a cow straight to their bones in 30 seconds flat.
I mean, is that the only thing that we have right now? Is give it something to feed on at the aquarium?
Yeah, so like the things that you know, Charlie got a read at the tide pool. Hawk, you went through most of the research stuff, and the zoo is currently like your big lead, right? Unless you want to do some outside research about what you think it could be, it feels like you're going to have to find another angle of approach, or go back to the zoo. Like,
hey, where could I find out like news about any recent grants given to the zoo? Like for what kind of like any kind of research they've just got approved for? Could that be possible to find out like because we know the doctor's name is Dr. Annie Barnes. What if I could like search for her name for like recent like winnings of a grant for research in not cannibalistic carnivorous fish of some kind? Is there
so because the Point Defiance research center is technically listed as a nonprofit organization, all of their tax, grant, all that info is publicly available. You would just have to know where to find it.
Where would someone go about finding Hawk working for the government? Could you find out that information?
I'll ask Wilson. Wilson's good with computers. I'm not good with computers. I will send Wilson a text asking him to look that up for me. Let's plan to break into the zoo/aquarium at night when there are no people around. We'll give it, and it's human flesh, right? It is human flesh that it wants to eat.
Yes, that's what I was hungry for.
Well, I don't have any cadavers just laying around.
I'm not...
So, we're the bait. That has to be our plan, right? We break in at night, we go into the South Pacific Aquarium, which is the closest thing to the tide pool, and we try to get eaten. We don't know its weaknesses, we don't know anything about it. We just need it to show up, scare it away, leave.
Well, hopefully, as I get closer, I start to get hopefully it's probably not the right word. I start getting a headache, and maybe that narrows down our choices. That could be something. I could try tuning in again once we get once I know what it is, maybe I'll be able to get a better read on it.
We also need an access key.
Yeah.
Dr. Annie Barnes had a key that could get her back there, but a regular access key would not get people to where they needed to be. So we somehow need that.
I could try breaking the interface.
Yeah, so it's either just a straight up, we could find a way to use magic to do it, or we could just try to get the key, probably by using magic to get the key. But one of them, you get the key, and then you can definitely get in the building. And the other one is, you try to get into the building, and it doesn't work. And you're just kind of like, well, that was our only option. You know?
Yeah.
That's my biggest worry.
Can we just ask Dr. Annie Barnes outside of these office hours for the key / Debbie seduces her?
Oh.
Pulls the key out of her bag.
I don't know. The idea of tracking Dr. Annie Barnes tonight and trying to get Debbie to seduce her sounds pretty narratively interesting to me.
Let's track her down in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
We can just sit outside the zoo and wait for her. Classic trailing mission.
Yeah, but it's not like she's going to leave out the front entrance, right?
Why wouldn't she?
Hey, could I observe the tide pool and then see where she's leaving from? That's also another magic ability. And I've been to the tide pool. Observe another place or time.
What?
Yeah, under use magic, observe another place or time.
You can just observe another time?
Apparently so.
That's what it says.
Man, we needed to learn these rules earlier.
Okay, so yeah, do you want to observe then?
Yeah, can he not just observe the entryway into that building? I'm sure he was around it.
Yeah. And then once we figure out which way she's going, we can position ourselves properly. It'll take her some time to get out of the zoo.
Charlie, what you looking at there?
Charlie's not even paying attention. He's just now focusing in on the entrance to the South Pacific Aquarium.
So how are you doing this for the listeners at home?
So you need to roll plus weird.
Yes.
Use a +2 for me.
Okay, a 9.
Okay,
9.
So the thing about using magic is that on a 7 to 9, it works imperfectly. Choose your effect and a glitch, and then I will decide what effect the glitch has. So the effect, obviously, is observe another place or time.
I think to be fun, the effect is weakened.
He's standing there, fingers to temples, like...
9 episodes later, I finally get...
Yeah, exactly.
I've been powering up the whole time.
And your hair's all blonde and spiky. It's awesome.
So is it just a dream sequence looking thing where he can't tell. It looks like he needs glasses.
So I would say that because the effect is weakened, you said you're watching the entrance of the research building. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So, like, you definitely, like, you gotta look at that at the zoo. You know that's what you're looking at, but it's very hard to, like, ascertain exactly what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
You do get the sense that when people are leaving, as you're kind of seeing them go, they're not heading out the front entrance. They're not going back through the ticket booth, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not the way they typically enter. So, they seemingly are going to, like, sort of like the southeast part of the park.
Mm-hmm.
The northeast part of the park, not the south where the entrance is.
Okay, so they're heading towards the northeast. Okay.
So you can ascertain that maybe there's a separate, like, employee parking or something like that, but you don't exactly know where that is.
Employee parking lot in the northeast area. I relay that to everyone.
I put the car in drive and start driving down the road towards the more northeast part of the zoo.
As you kind of take the streets back around toward the eastern side of the zoo, you drive on the edge of it, and you're eventually able to kind of veer a little bit left to stay on the border, and then you see a small road that offshoots closer, like, towards the interior of the park, and it's gated. Like, it has kind of a scan in, scan out type gate in front of it. You can surmise that would be where the employees park.
And that's the only exit and entrance, is that gate?
Yeah, it's like one side for the entrance, one side for the exit.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to assume that that's the one. And I can't get in there, necessarily. Is there an obvious entrance besides getting through the gate? Like, if I got out of the car and walked in?
Yeah, you could slide around the gate, especially if no one's watching, because no one's in the, like, there's no place to, like, monitor the. There's not a booth that's like, yeah, come in. It's just like
okay.
You would scan and it would open if you have a key.
So my plan is to turn over the wheel to Debbie, get her to go down the ways a little bit to a point to where they can observe the road, all three of them. I, Agent Hawk, will slide in between the gate bars to observe Dr. Annie Barnes and see what car she gets into, and then call them to follow, and I will eventually find my way back.
I mean, I know Alex doesn't have the best track record, but
Yeah,
you could take the Angel Wing Express.
Okay, Alex will wait in the woods outside of the parking lot as to not be noticed by people and his divine light. And then once they are following Debbie and Charlie, I will, against my better judgment, use Alex to catch up with the rest of them.
Sounds foolproof. What could go wrong?
Oh, everything could go wrong. So is that a good plan? What do y'all think?
I think that's great. I like it.
Yes.
Okay.
This'll be fun.
I will do that. I sneak in.
Why don't you give me act under pressure?
I think I do
Ooh,
it because
nice.
that's an 11.
Yeah,
Woo!
so you do it exactly. So you get in, because, like, this is a park area, the parking lot is surrounded by trees, so you're able to kind of duck in and out and get a look at the parking lot. As you kind of focus your gaze, you see Annie Barnes, one of the last people to leave the office. There's just a few cars left after watching for about 5 minutes or so.
Classic Annie, such a workaholic.
She gets into a beige 2013 Honda Odyssey.
The sponsorship went through? We're being financially supported by Honda?
By Honda?
Wow.
We're actually paid by, like, Toyota didn't want to associate with the podcast, but they also
Honestly
paid
smart
us,
of them.
Yeah, but they also paid us not to talk about Kia, so we were kind of left with Honda.
What is the license plate number? I want to get that.
It is. Let me look up some typical Washington license plates.
It just spells Barnes on the back. And
She got a vanity license plate of her own last name.
it says juicy. It says seafood.
No, it just says Monster. You solved the mystery.
Oh, there it is.
Nailed it. It spells Debbie. She's secretly been seduced by Debbie this entire time. It says 420-69-69.
The license plate is BLT 6969.
Yeah, it is.
Just the way I like it.
Is that where you eat a BLT while a BLT's eating you?
Yes, I like BLTs in all directions, all sides.
I thought it was just two BLTs 69ing, and then you just like ate them at the same. You had two BLTs.
That's just a double-decker
Charlie,
BLT.
cover your ears. We're talking about some adult things.
Charlie just dies in the back.
Yeah, that's a BBLT.
50 Shades of BLT.
BLTDSM? Is that anything?
Oh, there it is. Episode title.
All right, so I call up Debbie and Charlie and let them know to follow the beige Honda Odyssey with the license plate BLT 6969.
Oh, I knew that was hers. I could tell. Dream come true.
And then I'd try to go back to Alex so he can poof us back into the vehicle.
Alex
We
is
said
dying.
coughing from BLT 6969.
I just love us so much. Okay. I'm back. Yeah. Come join me in my bush. Let's jump back with them. Okay, so that'd be a weird roll.
Well, I don't think there's that much strange about it.
Oh, no.
Finally failed!
Hey, we failed.
Five.
First failure.
Ooh. So, you definitely don't get there. So, when you get a 7 to 9, you're either separated or you appear in the wrong place. So I feel like when you fail, both those things have to happen. Alex, you kind of prepare for takeoff, as it were, whatever the exact process as it is, and it akin to you jump off the wrong foot when you're going for a basketball layup, a metaphor I'm sure all of us are intimately familiar with.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
sports ball.
Bunch of jocks we are.
Yeah, it's like something doesn't feel right, and then just like 1 minute you're there, and 1 minute just everything is wrong. You're somewhere else. Alex, you end up. So I have so many options that I can do to make your lives so much harder. I think instead of kind of going the direction you want to, you completely beef it. Alex, you end up back in the tide pool. You were thinking too hard about your previous adventure or something, and you kind of sploosh your way back in there. Hawk, you are in a very dark room that appears to be quite small, and for all intents and purposes is locked from the inside.
And I have no idea where this room is.
No.
Good news, adventuring party. I made it into the zoo.
Hello, everybody. It is Aubrey, your not GM but player here, just to tell you about the whole schedule and to apologize for why we've been off a week recently. It's just there's been a lot of life changes for the entire cast between Eric getting married and the rest of us doing some different things with our jobs, and we don't know where our life is going. But anyways, that is going to end soon because spring break is next week. I will have a lot more time to dedicate to editing this podcast, which means that the next episode will be out next week on March 14th, and that is a guaranteed Aubrey Massey promise. Also, just the normal things. Please tell a friend. We appreciate that y'all listen, but if we could get you to do one extra thing, and that's just tell a friend about this podcast. Maybe they like Monster of the Week. Maybe they like shows like Supernatural and other monster hunting shows, and you think that they would be into this podcast, please let them know. We also have a Twitter. It is at CharlieMonPod. You can follow us there. The name is Tacoma City Broadcast. It's a marketing ploy. Just roll with it. And there we make a lot of announcements about different things. Anyways, that's really it. Sorry for the late episodes. And now, let's listen to some more.
So, after you get the tip to follow the vehicle, you see the vehicle pass by, and this is kind of later in the evening, and this isn't exactly a high commute area, like coming from the zoo. Like at this time, all the daytime traffic has already left. It's pretty easy to get a lock on her. She's really the only car coming down at this time. So you can tailor for easily as she kind of takes a few turns, and she eventually comes to a neighborhood just a few, maybe say 10 minutes south of Point Defiance, and eventually turns into what you can only assume is her home.
What a great place to seduce a stranger in their own home.
I mean, where else is she gonna go after work?
Drinks.
Go to the bar.
Well, now
Isn't
she
it
will
Thirsty
be.
Thursday?
She's like 50 something.
Okay, so
Don't judge.
are there any other cars in the driveway?
There are not.
Perfect.
God, that was a very ominous perfect.
So okay, she parks. I guess I'll go ahead and park in front of her home, kind of like you do if you're
Invited?
you're yeah.
Which, to be clear, you were not invited. Just to make that explicit for all of our viewers, you didn't miss anything.
Charlie just kind
This
of like
happens to me a lot with suburban women. This is like the second time. Okay, here we go.
Debbie has a type.
Hey, Bob, before you go out there, can I borrow your phone?
Well, for what?
Well,
Maybe I need my phone.
play Snake.
I can't resist those angry birds, Mother.
They're so gosh darn angry.
Alex and Mr. Hawkins were supposed to be here by now. That's the whole point of taking Alex. I feel like we should check up on them.
Well, sweetie, I really think it's important that I keep my phone on me while I go inside and try to seduce a stranger. If I have to get her number, I'm sorry, I forgot you don't know that word seduce. That's probably a good thing. I'm trying to make very good friends with this new lady in my life. Okay, so I'm gonna have to keep my phone on me. But they'll be fine. I'm sure they're just fine. Do you have your phone? I don't. Do you have a phone?
Charlie just kind of gestures to his body that he's soaked. I'm literally dripping.
And you won't be the only one.
If I do get to make very good friends with this lady, I'll see if she has some rice for you, and we can try the good old rice trick. I'll just tell her that my son's in the car. And he needs some of her rice.
Charlie just kind of slinks underneath the dashboard, just kind of slowly just like melts in his seat so she can't see him.
Okay, I'm going in. I'm gonna go
so
knock on.
interested to see what your game plan
Get
is.
them BLTs.
Here I go. I knock on her door.
Oh, hello. Can I help you?
Hi, I'm from the Socialist Democratic Party, and I was just wondering if you know who Bernie Sanders is.
Oh, I'm really not interested in political things. Thank you. And she starts closing the door.
No. I'm sorry. That was a bad opening. I'm just a really big fan, and I was here, in the neighborhood, and I am promoting this man, Bernie. He's a great candidate for animals everywhere. And I know that you're a fan of animals because I've read some of your work in that journal, that scientific journal. I can't think of the name right now. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
You have to be more specific. I've published several different articles.
Yeah, well, I can't remember. I guess I can't remember the name. It's been a few years, but I'm just a big fan, and
I'm sorry. How did you know where I lived? Are you the right? Do you have the right person?
I recognized you.
Okay. This is a little weird.
Would you mind talking about? I don't have anyone to talk about fish with, and I really have developed quite an interest in fish. I'm a school nurse, and I'm
just learning all the best pickup lines from Debbie. I don't have anyone to discuss fish with. I'm gonna use that one.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm not very good at this. I just need some friends, and I want to talk about fish. And I need to know some people who also like Bernie Sanders. I don't know how to meet new people these days. I'm not on any of those technology applications. And I just don't, do you want to talk about fish with me? Maybe over drinks, or we could get coffee. I know a place.
This is highly unusual, and to be honest, makes me a little uncomfortable. What did you say your name was?
Oh, my name's Debbie, man. Debbie
Debbie.
Deville. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Debbie, you see, I have had a long day, and I would like to go into my home now and not be disturbed by...
I mean to disturb you. I just want to make friends.
Yes. Have you considered that this is maybe not the way to do it?
I'm now considering that. It's been a few years. I'm rusty. But my name's Debbie.
Okay. I'll tell you what. You came all this way, and you don't have any friends. So
Correct.
can I don't know, sign something for you? Is that how this typically works? I'm sorry, I don't get a lot of recognition for my works.
As this conversation is going and she's distracted by Debbie, could I jinx her so she drops her key card at her door as she's kind of going inside?
So she's already been inside, so she's not holding anything. Presumably she took off her white coat and dropped her stuff off, so it's not on her person right now.
Well, yeah, you could sign something. I don't have any of your works on me. Perhaps you have something inside that you could just sign for me?
I mean, do you want a Post-it? I have a Post-it here.
Sure, yeah. A Post-it would work just fine. Hey, do you like sandwiches?
I do. Here, let me go get you your Post-it. And so she
Can I roll something at this point to
Yes, I do want you to roll something, but I don't know, this is a very, very unorthodox situation, and so
yeah.
I kind of want you to have some sort of point to turn on in order to make that that switch, because obviously this is not the best.
Yeah, no, this is completely awkward. I can't help it. In real life, I've never tried to make a friend. Usually it just happens.
That's true. I know how that feels. Okay. So
just lean in for the kiss.
So she kind of awkwardly signs you a Post-it note and hands it to you, and she's still kind of in the doorway, but the door's not open all the way. She's like, well, there's that. Can I help you with it? Is there something else that you need, or can I,
Okay, actually, yes. I dropped my phone at the zoo, and it's waterlogged. Do you have any rice? And I mean, I know this is completely weird. I mean, I could always go buy some rice, but you asked if I need something, and I actually do need some rice.
Yeah, okay. Now I want you to manipulate someone.
Okay, so is this roll charm?
Yes.
Okay, so you have rolled 8. So that is a mixed success. So when that happens, they will do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show that you mean it. If you ask too much, they'll tell you what, if anything, it would take for them to do it.
I mean, it's gotta be leave, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 100% leave. It's yes, I will. Yes, you can have some rice. You just have to go now, please.
Okay.
And she says, "I'll be right back," and she shuts the door.
It works both ways, guys. We can just open the door.
Okay. Hey, I sneaky open up that door.
Oh my god! Act under pressure.
Okay. Wait, what is...
How can I possibly prepare for these sessions if you guys do the wackest shit?
Okay, a 9.
Oh, hey! I want to help her.
Okay.
I want to help her.
How are you helping?
Using magic, I'm going to cast Jinx, and I'm going to help a hunter by giving them +1 forward. Oh, by interfering with the enemy.
She can't find her rice.
As she's about to grab her rice, a tear opens and it just starts pouring out everywhere.
So you can also interfere with what a monster minion or bystander is trying to do.
I have to roll plus weird anyway, so let's get that out of the way.
A 7.
Okay.
I get 1. I get 1.
You hold 1, so you can spend your hold 2. I'm assuming it's help a hunter.
Yeah, give them +1 forward. Okay. Interfere with the enemy. The rice bag just kind of opens up from one of the corners. It wasn't closed properly and just start spilling rice everywhere.
Okay. I'm going to make the caveat here that in order to do that, you need to get out of the car and be in some sort of position to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do that.
I think that's fine. Like, you see this happen, and you kind of get out of the car and kind of slowly approach. That's totally fine with me. Okay, so yeah, you jinx the rice bag, and when she tries to unclip it, it wasn't clipped right in the first place, and it kind of spills everywhere. And Debbie, as you open the door, very expertly sneaky, except maybe not quite, it squeaks a little bit. She is so distracted by the falling rice. She's like, "Oh, god damn it. Okay. Well," and then you hear her rummaging around for a dustpan.
Charlie runs to the car now.
So, Debbie, you are inside the house and you have been undetected. What you see immediately in front of you is like a small like foyer kind of area. There's just a little side table on the wall by the entrance to the door, and then on the left side it opens up into the dining room and then the kitchen, and then if you kind of go straight, there's a small living room area, and then on the right is a hallway that has a couple rooms. It's a very, very small one-story house, pretty unassuming.
Is there, do I see like a purse or a thing with keys on it?
There is a hook by the door that has her coat on it and a bag, and you seemingly remember, you think that was the bag that she was carrying.
All right, I put my hand in that bag and I dig around for a key.
So you rummage through the bag, and you eventually find it in one of the inside pockets. I mean, it's not labeled, so you can only assume that this is what it is. Is her white access key card.
I take it and I hide it in my clothes.
Where?
Well, if you must know, where every good old suburban mom hides her things in her have already breastfed breast pockets.
What a weird thing to specify.
I feel like after you've breastfed children, your boobs are just bigger.
In her used, permanently chapped nipples.
In her worn, shriveled breast.
Anyway, I'm older than 40 breasts, so I stick it in there.
Like a hacky sack that's been used way too long.
Like a hacky sack that had the beans kicked out of it.
It's like the Velveteen Rabbit of boobs. Except it doesn't come to life.
Now, are you staying in the house?
No, I sneaky get out that house and wait by the door to be as
Why are we
as
waiting? Why don't we
possible.
just leave?
She wants the rice.
I guess I want to be as normal as possible.
Very challenging, yes.
I don't want her to. I feel like if I leave, she's gonna suspect some weird shit. So I'm gonna wait right next to the door.
I think she already suspects weird shit.
If you leave, you can't get them digits.
That's true.
Okay, so eventually you exit. You wait on the stoop, and
Yep.
Dr. Barnes emerges with a baggie full of rice, and she's like, "Well, here you go. I'm sorry, I had a little spill. It fell on the floor, but if you're just using it to dry out a phone, I'm sure it's fine."
Yeah, that's all right. I thank you so much, Dr. Barnes. I really, really do appreciate not only your generosity, but also, I know this was a weird situation, and I just appreciate the help. I guess I'll be going, and do you want my number? Can I have yours?
No, you can't. And she
Okay,
closes
that's
the door.
fine. Anyway, I hope you have a good night.
The door is closed.
Okay, bye. All right, go back to the car. So, Charlie, here's your rice, and I guess you can say I did make very good friends with this lady because she gave me her rice.
Charlie with the most dumbfounded face just sticks his phone in like the bag of rice.
I also got the key, the access card.
Cut over to Alex. You're in the zoo. You're just like kind of in the middle of sort of like the area where the central part of the zoo where you go through the entrance and you go up, and there's kind of this like circle of pathway before you would get to the tide pool. So you kind of remember where you are. It's dark and you're not in the immediate vicinity of any exhibits, so you can't see any animals. You don't have a ton of bearings, but you remember being here earlier, so you kind of get a sense of where you are. What's your plan? You just gonna try to make your way out?
What would Agent Hawk do? Well, with that thought, Alex, of course, turns to go to the penguins.
You make your way over to the penguins, but not before sort of hearing a couple of voices. It's hard to make out. It just sounds like mumbles because they're far enough away, but they seem to be getting closer to where you are currently.
Jump in some bushes.
Why don't you act under pressure?
I would love to do that. Holy shit!
Hey,
I'm so
what a
cool at
move.
12!
With expert precision, you dive into this bush and you conceal yourself.
Oh yeah.
It's you.
I dive straight in like Scrooge McDuck. Just dive
exactly.
right in.
Exactly. You might as well have been wearing a fucking ghillie suit with how concealed you are. And as the voices approach, you see them, and as it becomes more clear, it looks like a couple of night watch people, just kind of making some patrols around the area. They've got flashlights. Clearly, they're not doing a bang-up job because they're walking together and sort of chatting and conversing, but they are at least patrolling the grounds, and they're closing in on your position. And as they sort of walk by this bush that you've very expertly hidden yourself in, you kind of pick up some of the whispers of what they're saying, and you say, "Hey, did you hear about some of the stuff that's going on here?" It's like, "No, like just like for the construction, or are they doing something else?" It's like, "Well, no, I heard that ain't construction. There was like an accident or something in that pool. They closed it off." They're like, "Whoa, really? Are you sure?" It's like, "Well, I searched the rumor, but so my friend over in the research department said something to that effect. So I don't know." And that's about all the information you can grasp before they have walked past you and continued on their route.
Alex knows that we're concerned about something in the tide pool, so Alex just decides, we're here, we might as well do something useful. We're gonna go check out that tide pool in the South Pacific Aquarium building.
All right, so you go over the tide pool, and as you approach the construction entrance, that same gate, it's locked up for the night. There's no one standing in front of it, but it is locked up and secure. But you are some sort of angel, so I don't imagine that's a particular issue for you.
Nah, ain't nothing.
You could just like fly in.
Oh yeah, just fly right in.
And you high jump that fence, and you're in. What are you looking for?
Just generic clues, a specific thing.
Anything labeled clue.
Yeah. This is really Alex's strong suit. So
anything that lights up when I mouse over it to let me know I can click on it.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. Does the cursor change?
Okay, so as you're kind of doing your cursory look around of this area, I mean, you were just kind of in this area. Mm-hmm. Granted, you didn't get in the water. You delivered Charlie into the water in sort of a cannonball kind of fashion.
On purpose, of course.
Yes, of course, yes, by design. Mm-hmm. You can kind of make your way toward the back, at least from where you are, that the part that backs up to the building, and that part is roped off as well. You can kind of look in that area.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you want
Oh,
to.
I'm definitely going to look in that area. Yeah.
Okay, so as you approach, you actually do see that there's another sort of door, entrance and exit, but it's kind of one of those things that it looks like it's part of the wall, but you can kind of see a seam. So if you could push it open or pull it open, you could probably get through, but on the outside, it seems like it's forced shut. Like you can't actually get any force to push or pull it, so you're not going to be able to get out this way.
Not even if I tried to use magic?
Well, how about you do try to use magic?
I will try to use magic. I'm going to try to force that bitch open. Okay, it's a 10. Yeah.
So what is the effect that you're choosing from trying to, in order to get this door open?
Does this door look like it pushes or pulls? You said both.
You can't see something that would indicate a push, or a pull, because there's no handle, there's no nothing.
Oh, we're going to magically push that.
I guess do one thing beyond human limitations.
Yes.
Like you couldn't force this door open normally.
Right.
Okay, so I think so you muster a big burst of divine strength and you push that door open so hard that it sort of swings on the hinges and almost gets like a little loose a bit. So it's not quite sitting right and doesn't seem to want to close all the way anymore.
Oops.
As you kind of push your way open, you can see that it was sort of kind of like a magnetic lock, almost like not anything physically barring it.
Okay.
Just normal force. It's a big heavy door held in place. Wouldn't normally be able to get it open. So you get into the this back section of the South Pacific Aquarium building. It looks like a sort of maintenance area where zookeepers and workers can get into the Tide Pod this way to do maintenance, cleaning, feeding, things like that.
You said Tide Pod again.
Fuck! Get into this Tide Pod and you get all the soap.
Oh, so clean.
The back area of the tide pool that can be maintained by zoo staff.
I mean, I gotta look around, see if there's anything suspicious.
Yes, you do, I imagine. So as you can kind of walk your way through some of these back halls, and it looks like there's just some like storage rooms for different cleaning supplies, a feeding, like places for storing food for the different animals, things like that. If you want to clean some water filters, you're certainly welcome to give that a go.
Ooh.
But for the most part, nothing super assuming. It's just kind of standard cleaning, maintenance stuff. There's no. This isn't the research part. As you're walking through, I want to jump over to Hawk real quick, who is in this very dark, small room, and you kind of reach around for a handle of a door, and it's locked.
So since I'm stuck here, would this be like a read a bad situation kind of deal?
Yeah, so I think this is applicable. It just kind of depends on the questions you ask. I think it's going to be.
All right. So let's see. That, my friend, is a 10.
Okay.
Nice.
So you hold 3.
What is the best way out of here?
The best way out is to get this door open.
Well, no shit.
Oh.
You ascertain that. Well, so you ascertain that it's locked by key. So you would just need to find some way to unlock it.
Are there any dangers that we haven't noticed? I'm just trying to make sure that this is definitely a supply closet and not an evil monster trap.
It's dark. You get the sense that it's like a closet almost.
So it's a closet.
Yeah, it's definitely a closet.
So what type of lock are we talking about? Like ye old timey, get some lock picks, do it, or is it like a key card scanner or whatever? I mean, it's a closet, so it's got to be easy, right?
I think because it's just a closet, it's not a super secure like key. Would you have any tools on you to help you out in this situation?
I have a gun.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm also gonna answer that question and say this lock is definitely weak to gun. Maybe to knife. Who knows?
Yeah, I think I might want to go with knives, so just in case there are people on the other side of the door, you know?
It would be a suspenseful thing to end on, and you shoot the lock open, and it was full of people.
The lock was filled with people? Oh no!
Oh, God.
Okay, then I'm going to jimmy the lock with my big knife. Do I need to roll like act under pressure or something like that?
So because of the information you've collected and the fact that it's really just a basic closet first. I mean, you can't exactly see what's in it, but it just appears to be kind of a storage closet. It's pretty low risk if someone were to get in there. So you're able to almost force the lock to turn with your knife. I mean, it's a good knife, right? You got a good knife on you. So you do sort of force the lock and break it, but you are able to unlock the door and get out.
Cool. So what do I see?
You actually see that you are back in the research lab area of the South Pacific Aquarium building.
Okay, well then I'm going to take stock of my surroundings, just make sure that I'm not going to get caught, kind of stick to the shadowy parts where there's some dim lighting, and I'm going to make my way to the research areas where they were kind of sealed off during my tour of the aquarium, and also probably break into Annie Barnes' office.
Okay, yeah.
All that being said, is there any indication that Alex is anywhere near where I am right now?
You can assume that they're not where you are.
Yeah.
Well, this is awfully convenient. I kind of figured when Alex messed that up that we would be like in real deep shit or something like that.
To be fair, there was a part of me that almost did expect you to shoot the door, and then that would have been a gunshot, and that would have been something to play with, but you know.
Well, maybe you should quit undervaluing our intellect, Austin.
And I applaud.
Look,
and I
did
applaud
we get
you
the
for that.
access key? We got it. I mean,
honestly, unorthodox methods, but all of us fucking nailed it.
Except for the fact that Debbie did not get to nail it. I would like to use my knowledge from my tour and backtrack to the places that I know are important, i.e. offices, to where Annie Barnes and the other researchers kind of do their work, and also the research labs themselves. Can I do that?
So you backtrack from your tour earlier that day, and you kind of have a vague familiarity with where you're walking towards. So without the access card, you're not able to get into some particular rooms and different areas, but you are able to sort of search through a couple places. In one particular room, it feels like it's kind of like an office. It doesn't exactly appear that it belongs to one person. Like there's not a name badge and, a bunch of pictures of someone's kids, all up. But there's some filing cabinets. There's a central desk with a bunch of papers on it, a computer, things like that that are available. So you can kind of start rummaging around through those. Which angle are you going? Desk, filing cabinet, computer. You trying to hack? Are you hacker man? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the computer to Charlie. So let's go with desk.
Desk. Okay. So the desk appears to be kind of a really just old standard desk. There's a middle top drawer that's really shallow for like pins and paper clips and things like that. And there's 2 drawers on either side. The drawer on the right side is locked.
Are all of the drawers locked? Is it just this one? And also, do I see a key anywhere?
All the drawers are locked on this one. You do not.
All right, cool. Then I'm just gonna knife it, I guess.
Good night.
Because it's an old desk and you've got a really good knife and you've proven it can take out a lock. This lock is less work than the other one. You're able to force it open. It does break, it's fairly obvious that it doesn't lock anymore. You've broken the mechanism, but you are in.
Well, what do I see?
And in it you find some vials that contain some of them contain some articles on different marine biology research, conservationism, environmental studies, things like that. Really big. There's a couple forms that look like they need to be still filed that have to do with tax status and important financial documents that are important to the organization, but not you specifically. So you're able to kind of rule those out. At the bottom of the stack, you find a file cabinet a file folder that actually is fairly light. It doesn't have nearly as many papers in it as some of the other ones. And there's actually a few sheets that look like they've been torn or crumpled. It's very hard to make out the writing. It's really worn and faded, and again, the parts that have been ripped out kind of render some of it illegible. But the general idea written down on these papers highlights the tide pool construction is not a construction project at all. It's to conceal some incident that happened. But you get the sense that from this writing, it was on purpose, because one of the top left corners of the paper that's since been torn says, Step 1.
What was step 1? Oh, no, it just says step 1.
That's very ominous.
You can't read it, but there was a plan. It had one step at least.
And at the bottom it says step 3, profit.
No, it says step 3, question mark, step 4,
profit. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, I'm going to take this file and I'm going to put it in my suit jacket and then close the door as best as I can, make it look like I didn't actually touch anything, even though it'll be very obvious anyways, and then I will just leave the office and see if I can go find anybody.
So as you sort of make your clean getaway as the professional you are, you exit the room and backtrack your way out of the research area. And as you open the door, you do hear some footsteps approaching from a hallway to your right.
I'm going to quickly hide behind either an exhibit or just somewhere where there's a lot of shadows, I think.
So there's some small exhibits and tanks You can kind of duck yourself between those. There's a little in the center of this kind of wider room that this door was off of that you exited out of. There's a little area in the center that's like a kid's play area that has some coral looking like shapes that they can like sit on and get on top of. It's got like stairs and a little slide, and there's a little tunnel you can go under.
Can I hide behind this coral? Like, am I too big as a grown man?
If you really, really put your mind to it.
Don't forget about on the side of the hallway, there's 3 statues of armor, but there's one missing in the middle, and so you could just stand there.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the armor thing, but I will do the kids' coral thing.
And as you do so, you hear somebody approach and enter the room, and lo and behold, it's Alex.
I'm going to sneak up on Alex and try to scare him. Give him a big old boo.
Alex is invested in those kitty coral toys. That's where Alex is heading.
Okay. So I think you just do it.
Okay, well then I just pop up and go boo and see what happens.
And how does that play out exactly?
Alex pulls out the flaming sword. Doesn't move, just pulls out the flaming sword.
It's still staring at the coral?
Yep. Doesn't turn around. Pulls out the sword, staring at coral.
Damn, Alex, you're no fun. Come on. You gotta react a little bit.
Alex turns around and kisses Hawk on the cheek.
I don't know what I was expecting, but that is what I should have expected. I regret. Okay. Hey, let's move on.
It's a power play.
Anyways, what have you been up to here? Just walking around? You haven't been caught, have you? Like, what have you done here?
I broke a door.
Oh, sweet. Samesies.
Door breaking buddies.
I put up my hand to give Alex a high five.
Alex just kind of grabs Hawk's hand. Just slowly.
Okay, I guess that is something that we are going to have to work on. It's called a high five, but we should probably get a hold of Debbie and Charlie. Do you know where they are at? Or do I need to, like, call them or something? I don't know why I'm asking you. I'm the one with the cell phone. I'm going to call Debbie right now.
We respond back, send Alex over, he can bring us inside easily.
No, his track record says otherwise.
Josh is on a roll, it'll be perfect.
Alex is gung-ho to try.
If he just flies you in here, what's the fucking point of getting the access card?
You guys have the access code.
Yes. You catch up, you let them inside, you've got your access card, and for next session you'll be ready to go.
Yay.
All right, so now we have the key, so we need to get into this maintenance and try to get a little hold on what this monster is.
I also know where the maintenance tunnels are.
Sick. Well, that's how we get to the research station. So let's go through the maintenance, and let's go to the research station, and let's get in there.
Yeah, like, so I would say, like, you make it there relatively easily, no hassle, since you've been in and out. You swipe in, you get back to the research area, and yeah, as you kind of make your way back, Hawk, you remember again some of the areas you were in. You passed that closet you were trapped in inadvertently. You passed the room you looked inside, some of the smaller offices of kind of, you've ruled them out during your cursory tour earlier. And as you head back, there's a set of double doors that you need an access card to swipe into that you were not able to access earlier.
Okay. Charlie swipes the access card.
As you do, you enter sort of a like it's still part of the same hallway. It's just kind of protected by these double doors. So it's got some more rooms on either side of it. And as you look through, they all appear to be individually locked. So the access card, as you try it, will get you into some of them, but you don't know if it's because, like, Annie's access card has access to all of them, if you need specific ones for specific reasons, things like that. But because you have sort of the head marine biologist's access card, it's pretty easy to assume that you can get into almost anywhere you want to go. And as you make your way through some of these rooms, you open the door, and all the rooms really kind of look the same. There's some tanks lining 3 of the walls for different sort of fish and specimens. The first 2 rooms you open, there isn't anything going on. There's no animals or important research. It looks like it's happening. As you make your way back, there is a bigger lab sort of off the end of the hallway to the right. As you enter this room, it looks to be a simple research lab. What first strikes you, though, is just how empty it is. All the room contains is a fish tank, housing a lone, seemingly unremarkable tuna that swims idly back and forth. But as you make your way into the room, the fish gets more and more agitated, now darting back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until suddenly it stops. It stares straight forward, hovering eerily still, its gaze now locked on Charlie. And as soon as you make eye contact, Charlie, you freeze. And the rest of you notice that Charlie's eyes have become blank as he stands motionless in a sort of hypnotic trance.